It is April and already a busy time for high school football and college football alike. Welcome into AZ Audibles alongside Eric Sorensen and Devin Henry. I'm Jordan Ham. Guys, ASU and NAU getting pretty creative in their recruiting efforts. Let's start with ASU. They brought in about 45 of the top 2022 recruits in the state, incoming sophomores, offered 12 to 13 of them. Eric, what's your reaction to them going after so many guys early in their high school careers?
Really forward-thinking idea by Herm Edwards and his staff. The one thing that we've seen over and over since Herm arrived was, how are you going to address the in-state talent? And I love the concept of getting to these guys early, because the one thing we've seen in the past is ASU has not been able to land a high percentage of these 4- and 5-star players. And one complaint I've heard from both players and high school coaches is ASU didn't get to the kids early enough. Kudos to ASU and their staff.
Well, I think we've said 100 times now, the landscape in Arizona has completely changed in terms of high school football. I think that what ASU kind of saw here was a simple algorithm. You have great potential, you have great intangibles, which might not show off when you're just a young teenager in high school, but you put those together and that intangibles can help your development moving on through your high school career. These might be some incredible stars where, hey, we were the first ones to offer you as a freshman now, and I think that puts them so far ahead of the game if this continues to trend up with Arizona high school football.
And when I was talking to Eddie Zuby, the head coach of Higley, who one of his players was one of those 2022 offers, he said that for these 13 guys that got offered, they're going to be gung-ho ASU now until they potentially get their next offer. And I think a lot of these guys are going to pan out to be pretty high-profile guys, and it makes sense. Some of them won't pan out. That's why it's a bit of a bold decision. Some of these guys, you don't know how they're going to look a couple years from now. You know, they may hit the drive-through too much and be out of shape by the time that they're hoping that they pan out to be these big elite athletes. That may not be the case. So that's why it is a bold swing, but certainly out of the box. NAU also getting creative. They have their friendly confines up in Flagstaff, but they come down to Chandler High School and hold a scrimmage, and a lot of recruits can come. Now, it's non-contact period. They weren't necessarily able to talk to any recruits, but the recruits didn't have to come up to Flagstaff to see what the pace of play looked like, the product on the field looked like. Devin, what did you think about this strategy?
Well, it can be so hard sometimes for recruits and their parents to drive up to Flagstaff, check out the team, and so how do you fix that? Well, let's go down to arguably the best team in the state of Arizona in high school, go on their field, and let's play. Now you can finally get some more of those eyeballs on you where you show, yeah, we're in the big sky. Yeah, we're great in the big sky. Here's what our program is all about. Absolutely love this move and could see it in future years as well.
Yeah, I talked to their former now head coach, Jerome Sowers, a couple years ago, and he told me the most difficult thing when it came to recruiting local kids from the Valley was just getting them to Flagstaff. Once the players or recruits went up there and saw the facilities and said, okay, this is a cool place to go to school. And you look at guys like Emmanuel Butler, Cameron Johnson, Elijah Marks, maybe kind of under the radar. I know we use that cliche quite a bit. But Emmanuel Butler is going to get drafted. Flagstaff and NAU is a great option for kids down here in the Valley.
The feedback and talking to a couple of the coaches, they may expand this to multiple sites next year.
Oh, really?
And kind of change the timing of it where it may not be a non-contact. Obviously, a lot of rules, a lot of red tape you have to work with the NCAA. But I could see this expanding even more, just making it that much easier. Each and every year, you now have a stable coaching staff. Why not take advantage, come down to such a fertile recruiting land for you, and just take advantage and come to them?
Now I wonder what's going to happen with U of A, because the Wildcats watched what happened in these last few days, and they're probably thinking to themselves, okay, we saw what ASU did, and now NAU's holding a scrimmage in the Valley. What's next for us?
Well, I think the interesting wrinkle for U of A is their new indoor facility down in Tucson. They want to show that off. So that's another thing that, there's constantly changing with these three programs. We're going to get into this more on the recruiting roundup, especially with these ASU guys, kind of break down a couple of those guys, go in depth on them, but make sure to keep it on AZ Audibles each and every week for your high school football coverage.